Hello everyone and welcome to our second episode of Education's Roundtable. We have an exciting and timely discussions for you. We divide into the topic, is AI hurting or helping our education systems in the Gambia? To help us to unpack these topics, we are joined by an amazing guest, Aliu Badu Mane, commonly known as Badu, Program Officer, Edward Francis Small Center for Right and Justice. And of course, joining for this conversation is my co-host, Fatumata Janko. Now, we move detail into the topic. Mr. Borumane, as I said, AI is something which is very important. By looking at AI, looking at it as of now, even our mobile phone is having AI, what impact does it have in our education system?
Right, thank you so much. Of course, this is a very important topic. To start, you've made mention of a statement that I will bank on, that is to say AI really helps our education system. Okay. And then looking at the topic, it says whether it hurts or helps. Yeah. I think this is a subjective matter, but one would say it does both hurting and also equally helping our education system.
So which one is more, both hurting and helping? By looking at AI, sometimes it have impacts on the education systems. What under the objective of it, what did help our students or education system?
Okay, and that's why I said it's, this is a subjective matter. When you said which one is more, it depends on which lens you are looking at. For example, as a student, if I want to entirely focus and depend on AI to do everything for me, that's of course hurting, because that's going to kill my talent, my skills. And then looking at it with that lens, one would say this is completely not right. But when you look at it at the other aspect, whereas I could, for example, let me use myself as a student, let's say on my time at tertiary level, when I'm given an assignment, of course, what we do, we go online and do research. Okay. And then when we do research, whatever we are able to produce, we look at it, analyze it, look whether it really fits what they give us. So looking at that, one would say it's making an impact, and that's why I said it's both hurting and then also helping at the same time.
Okay. It is making an impact and it is helping and hurting. Yeah. Like by looking at it, on Titan education, most of the time you are given an assignment, but the information that AI gives you, and then like let's say Wikipedia, most of the time people are saying this is not factual information, but these are misinformations compared to the Google and the information that is given to it.
Yes, and that's right. Again, I would use that statement, the subjective point, as my basis. And this is why I said so. You mentioned Wikipedia, you mentioned Google, and at some point, and I will raise this, there was a time I was asked this question. If someone goes to you, when I was teaching, if you give someone an assignment, the person goes out there and then do a research, completely AI, and then he or she got everything right, are you going to give the person 100%? This was a question raised to me, and I said, well, there's a very important thing, but I think I would...
So if it is you ask a teacher, are you going to give that person 100%?
Yes, and this was what my response was. I said, the fact that the person goes to check online has shown that he or she had done some effort. But if it is entirely 100% correct, I might not give the person 100% correct. Why? And I'm going to tell the person, of course, this is here to help you. There is no.
You mentioned a point. You said if you go to online and made an effort.
Yes, I'll come back to the point I mentioned about Wikipedia and then Google and so. Because, for example, all of us seated here, if we get a question to search online right now, one question, I can tell you that we might have different answers, right? And then that tells you that it depends on our ability to also adapt with AI. For example, let's say, what is journalism? If you are given an assignment by a lecturer who said, go and search about what is journalism, maybe some people could just go and say, what is journalism? Now, AI is here to help us, of course. I could prompt the AI, the machine, to give me an answer which will be different from your own, and it's produced by the same machine. Let's say, for example, chat. You give chat, what is journalism? Chat could give you an answer that is very basic. But I could prompt chat on the same question to give me more advanced answer. Now, if I am given these two questions or answers to mine, obviously the one who have prompt the AI to that level would have more mark. Why? Because it has shown that the person is adapting to something that.
But when you look at it as well, Mr. Badu,
Yeah.
there is going to really harm the person, because the person, there is not going to be any critical thinking, because there is nothing for me to think anymore. When you ask me a question, instead of me to think and say, okay, this is the right thing that I should do, I'll just go online and then bring the answer. So what are the essence of me going to school when I'm not really trying to think on my own and then do something? Instead of I tend to rely on AI. It's not trying to help me.
Let's see here. Knowledge is not a practice. Even here, if you are not practice, you are not going to perfect. In tertiary education, we see how difficult it is, most especially at the college and other places at the university. So if you are going to such an assignment, many people in front of presentation in terms of even college. Now, if you are going to cite under this area, if give you an information, you ask to just to come and present it in front. You don't go about. How do you think?
Okay, that's a very important
to me,
point. And I really see your point. I think the whole discussion is centered on, like, what the points you guys are making mention here is whether someone should entirely depend on whatever is produced to use it for academic consumption. That I wouldn't, recommend. Myself, I do use AI. What I would do is, and this is how I will use it, regardless of what I want to work on, let's say I do write on issues. So when I write, I could prompt the AI to do, I will say, edit this and structure it for me. And I did the writing. I already did my work, and then instruct the AI to do the writing. Instead of, like others, would go and then entirely depend on AI to do everything. That I would not recommend, because at the end of the day, it kills our ability to think.
And when you look at it, AI itself was created by humans. So obviously, if we tend to rely 100% on it, it's like we tend to make ourselves stupid instead of being intelligent. And I believe it is there to help us to be, at least to be quite intelligent. But if we depend more on it, it's going to help. And the one thing is, AI, it can be somehow haunting as well, because when you look at it, when it comes to school level, they don't teach you how to use AI. They don't tell you, okay, if you use this way, it's going to benefit you. If you use this way, it's going to affect you. So, like, obviously, students can just choose it and have the thing. So what do you think? Do you think, like, teachers should really introduce AI to students to tell them how to do it or not?
Yeah,
like
I think there's no problem with teachers telling students use AI. It depends on also what conditions are you going to place there. For example, if I'm asking you to use AI, you can even ask the AI to give you references of where it is taking that particular thing. Right? If I'm doing that, I'm doing the same thing that has been a tradition in our education system. For example, prior to the intervention or invention of AI, how do people get to do their research? They go to libraries, right?
Exactly,
They get their stuffs and then make references. From there, we switch to Google. Google don't even give us answers. When you search through Google or Wikipedia, it also goes to other places. Now, when I was a student, when I search, of course, it directs me to another link. That is where I will use as my source. So if I'm using AI and I'm telling my student, because I was doing that, I will tell them, go and do research. Of course, provide a reference. I will always.
Then, do you think like it should be introduced in our education sector?
Yes, I am still.
How? Because by looking at it, it will make one thing. It will make students so lazy. It will tell me in terms of exam. You see it if in your mobile phone, in WhatsApp, anywhere. Any question you ask, it bring. Now, if you are supposed to do something, you're supposed to have knowledge about it. If you don't have knowledge, just give me a question and I just for the sake of what having the mark. How do you think the student, compared to Biden, if you are given assignment, go, I can remember when we are given assignment, the population at college, we'll go around throughout Brikama, we count the numbers of people, we survey everything, people who are working and who are not working. Compared to now, I can sit here, they will give me information that is happening in
and then you get it
but,
instantly.
No, yes, I can get instant, but maybe it is not going to be factual or not correct. Like the way I go and see what is happening there.
I get your point, and then I'm going to rely on what she made mention. It depends on how I am going to use it.
Exactly.
And then the fact that she mentioned teachers are not teaching people to do or use AI, I think that is where I want to rely on.
You know,
to negate the
one thing also, teachers, they
it's
should.
not important. That should not be the case. It is important, and then we should not discourage people from using it. Instead, we should be teaching people. Why? When you look at our generation, prior to where we are today, things change. We evolve from one area to another. And whether we like it or not, this AI is here to stay. So what should we do? Now, one's ability to progress through this should be based on resilience, adaptability, and then your ability to learn fast. So that is what one needs to consider. But if we want to focus on, well, just because few people entirely depend on it, shouldn't be a basis for us to say, no, it should not be introduced. Instead, we look at the positive aspect. Almost everyone uses AI. In fact, there was a research conducted by University of Liverpool where they had to ask, be it students or lecturers, how their own opinions on usage of AI, even at university level. Almost 70% said, well, they are not entirely in for it to be 100% used as a reference, but instead it can be used to help you and then work on your work. So
that is why I can say AI is not really the problem, neither the savior. It depends on how you're going to use it. Because if you use it in the right way, it's really going to help you. And if you use it to destroy you, it's obviously going to haunt you, and it's going to destroy you. So I think
basically,
really
as students, if they are to use it, they use it in the right way.
No, you can say they're using it the right way.
For them, they research. But the issue here, compared to Biden's, our education system and then is different as of now. By then, people struggle to learn, and their knowledge and our knowledge is completely different. By these people we are having form, we are not in fact having this certificate of self. So compared to now, for them, if they are given an assignment, what they will do, they will go around and search. In fact, they will totally copy what is important. But now, something is given an information, that's an AI. By looking even our voices, sometimes it can, like it change everything.
Now, you know, when the point you're talking about and then the comparison you're bringing is relevant, and I really respect that. It's about change, and then we accept the fact that change will happen. Before the type of system we have, when my parents were going to school, of course, even if you are at primary 6, today we can compare them with some grade 12.
No, so even let's say university graduate, you can see university graduate. Yes, a university graduate.
At some point maybe.
By then grade 6 they can able to write a letter. But now you see university graduate. I don't say they cannot, but they struggle. In fact, do certain.
Okay, then
you know why?
One should question how those people get to the university at the first time. Maybe we know that there are examination malpractices. People can do all that, and then all of a sudden, because the university will tell you at least a minimum of 5 credits,
including English.
So if I am entirely dependent on those malpractices, I can get myself into the university because the certificate now determines my qualification. Now, when I'm inside there, now that is where I will meet with individuals who are not, because I've sat with individuals in classes who are not 8 students, but you realize that these are very smart students. People who were there with their A's or 9, blah blah.
Now, of course, anywhere you go with people who are 9, even 1 credit, to compare them is very easy. So they struggle to do certain things, but those with 9 credits.
So we just have to accept the fact that the change has happened, and then we have to adapt.
Exactly.
You understand? Now, when you're doing comparison with our education system prior and now, on board the quality you're talking about, which I would not fully repeat. I understand. Now, one could argue that there is too much information out there that had made us so lackadaisical. We are very slow, and then
especially the AI.
Yes, AI could make you more slow, but it depends on you. You are here at Majad. If you're given an assignment to go and do, let's say,
I can sit and charge it witnesses.
Yes,
but one thing, it is not going to help me.
Now, it depends on who is also teaching you.
Exactly.
They're going to accept entirely what you bring forward and what are your references. And this is very important.
I don't know for other.
But you understand this academic credibility. Most of the time, what we charge, if we send it, no matter how it is, they are not going to reject it. Either they will give you a half mark.
Okay, that is left with the teacher's volition. It should not happen. We understand if he should choose to do that, he or she choose to do that, that should not happen. But we understand if you are teaching, of course, you should go through everything that is presented to you. For example, in fact, that reminded me, that is what you call CICO, cabbage in, cabbage out. These AIs have been made by individuals, and then every information they bring to you are not like a new information.
Exactly.
They are already in They are already out there.
Do you realize,
that's
in fact,
why I said it depends on how I prompt.
Exactly.
Because when I go basic and I say, just give me what is journalism or what is Majak about, and then I have another way of telling the AI, give me at least a structure, and then at least give me an analysis, give a comparison. Now I'm prompting, telling them, I'm saying, this is what I want to do.
Exactly.
Do you understand? With that, of course, it's going to help me. Some people are using this to make money.
Exactly.
You understand? We all use the social media platforms, and we understand that AI is using that aspect. Also, it is hurting. That I do not refute also.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, and I want us to understand that part.
It is hurting.
Yeah, it is.
Basically, it is hurting for me, of course, it is hurting much. But like recently, if you look at the Minister of Public Service, Babkar Boy, and then the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, now they say they want to introduce technology like the AI in the schools. For me, like the time I got this information, I think it was written by Nimasil at Voice newspaper. For me, I tell these people I don't support it. By now, without in fact AI, you see students struggle even to learn inside the classroom. No, you see students who even yes in school, even a single credit they struggles with it.
Well, but actually, we cannot.
Time I see it under the Voice newspaper, I tell these people I don't support AI.
It
will make students so lazy.
Okay, that's your point.
Well, and even if you look at the based on their performance, it's going to be low.
Umar, when you look at it, development is happening. We cannot be like the way in the 90s that our parents used to have to struggle. We have to change. Okay. Changing is happening every day, and you have to adopt the system and go with it. That is why,
exactly. If you don't change, you change with a positive effort. Not
exactly. That is why I can tell you the fact is that it depends on how you use it. Okay. Because when you look at it, even this AI, they are not 100% reliable. Yes. Because I can take example of ChatGPT. Sometimes you can ask Chat a question, and it will not give a right question.
Exactly.
Because it happened to me. Sure. Because I don't only rely on one AI. When I do my research, I try to have different sources to know if which one is correct. So when I know that this one is not actually correct, I'll go back to chat and they were like, but this is what I get from different. He was like, I'm sorry, this is not right. I am not a human. I'm a machine. So obviously you get to know. And when it comes to the teaching aspect, as he was saying, it depends on the lecturer. You and I know from Majak for sure. You cannot just go and copy and paste and comment like that. When you do that, they give you 0. Because why? They try to find out where you get it from your source and how reliable can it be. You are here to learn.
That's supposed to be on the education system. If you are giving the education system, that's supposed to be. Yeah. You will see people are majoring in other fields or doing other fields. After the program or after that year, they cannot able to function. Because of what? What they are doing and what in fact what is happening is something different.
You have to if you the statement she just mentioned, using Majak as a case study, that tells you that this is at least something that is common within tertiary level, right? So, I don't know what basis where the as part of the statement you mentioned in relation to the minister's intention to introduce that. I am sure. The fact that we are not using maybe gadgets within our primary and junior level, it might not be the case that they're saying, of course, everyone will be using that in class.
Okay, now
if you're given an assignment, what do they ask you to do?
Go and make
research, right?
But we understand that now, even to go and make research, even though students, if they are not even going to make research, they will bring mobile phone. Okay. Now, if the ministry introduces this the school curriculum, students are bringing mobile schools
to
the
schools. That is school rules and regulations. My school, they don't take some of those things.
You cannot stop that. No, students, whether you see it or not, it is happening. They are bringing.
We understand that, of course, in the Gambia, whether I am going to entirely, as a student, as a tertiary level student, I'm going to entirely depend on AI, or I am not going to do that. Exactly. If you are a parent, you understand that at the end of the day, your kids will be using some of these things. How do you teach them? As a teacher, how am I going to teach them? The society, the government, they all have a role to play.
Yeah.
So meaning people need to be aware. We need to create that awareness.
Public service minister, he mentioned now we should do away with chalks and this board. He said now we are in the culture of what? Technology. Yes. He said AI should be introduced. Okay. He said most of the Gambians should use it. Like to me, immediately I saw it. To me, I said that no, this is not helping for the students.
Yes, I guess I understand.
Learning, everything what you are doing is not for practice. If you are not practice, you don't going to be
I understand that, and I'm going to use this. I understand that the time is not much for us to be talking more. But then one thing I would want to conclude on is the issue of using my own school, my former school as an example. In fact, I taught for almost 6 to 7 years. Last 3 years that I taught, I can tell you that I cannot remember when I used a chalk. every part of my teaching is based on presentation, and then we have a smart board that I use. In fact, when I came, I decided to do that. I will tell
on
my
your school.
Yes.
How possible then for us? I'm losing chalk. Look at my eyes. I don't have
of course,
a smart.
That is
that's why
your
I tell
school.
you. Okay, we have a problem, and then I think the government is doing their, they are doing their part. We are also doing our part, and we are trying to ensure that we make change. But I'm telling you that just to bank on this, and then let that be my final statement, that AI, in as much as we recognize its a negative aspect, we have to understand that it is also here to stay, and we are going to, one thing we have to learn here is we're going to adapt with it, and then understand that it's really going to help us if we adapt.
Thank you, Badu, for coming. Thank you. This is all what we have for you on today's episode of Education Roundtable. Let us know your thought. Is AI helping or hurting in our education system? You can follow us on Manja's channel like YouTube, TikTok, and like Instagram.